Hello and welcome to Tipsy VP episode 7th February 2020, a weekly show where we share tips and tricks on how to improve your social media. Tipsy VP is brought to you by Virtual Palace Marketing, the digital marketing agency that helps small businesses go digital. My name is Sean. This week, JK can't join us because he's down with hopefully just a common cold, and we hope that he'll be back next week. This week's weekly Tipsy, 5 things not to do on LinkedIn. Now that LinkedIn is on the rise again, professionals are starting to get active again. There are many things many people never liked about LinkedIn last time, including me, and they are not about to change their taste right now. So if you want to have a good impression on the platform, here are a few things you should absolutely avoid doing. Number 1, spamming strangers. We used to get a ton of messages from people we don't know, introducing themselves and immediately proceeding to sell their products or service. Today, message inboxes are filled with paid versions of the same trash. Absolutely avoid spamming sales messages to anyone, period. Some may argue they can bring you sales, but the number of sales you get doing this does not offset the bad reputation you are about to get doing this. Number 2, expect instant gratification. Just because everyone on the platform is possibly seeking out a buyer or suppliers doesn't mean that you can just appear out of nowhere and be able to sell something right away. Be it LinkedIn or Facebook, the decision-making process and buyer journey is similar because we're all humans. In fact, B2B buyer journey is usually longer than B2C. So take the time to build relationships with people and aim to help them instead of trying to sell them something all the time. Number 3, trolling. It is nice to be actively commenting on other people's posts and participating in conversations and all that. The last thing we want to see is some stranger taking the opportunity to promote their products halfway between a deep conversation. And it is worse if that's you. So don't always look at sales as just the ultimate end goal for everything. Work on building relationships and getting people to know you and giving people value first. So trolling, out of the question. Number 4, hard selling. Same story, different platforms. Sometimes we see people whose only work on Instagram is sharing their company's content and other content that only talks about how cool the products are. You have seen this. I mean, I have seen quite a lot of this, and it's a bit it's tiring sometimes. Although they are not directly selling to their audience, the content rarely offers value. Instead, spend more time creating and sharing content that are industry related. So there's a difference here, right? Between brand related and industry related. You can have 30 brands talking about the similar industry and you are just one of the brands. So if you talk about stuff which is industry related, it creates value to other people in the same industry, even though they could be your competitors. That way, the fellow enthusiasts will actually gain value, and then they will see as if you are passionately involved in the industry instead of just being passionate about your brand, which is a bit no. Number 5, getting too personal. There's a place to vent your anger and dissatisfaction at something, and it surely isn't LinkedIn. I think I've committed this sin because if I were to post this on LinkedIn, and it would be me complaining about people who do not know how to use LinkedIn. So it's me getting too personal and venting about people who don't know how to post stuff on LinkedIn. Get it? A professional environment is where we are supposed to showcase our high EQ. Failing to do so will only reflect upon our inability to provide to potential clients. This is how society views us. If we are too passionate about it, it means that we get a bit too opinionated, and we are opinionated. That means that we are not able to handle things calmly and collectively. If we're not able to do that, that means that if something goes on, if you are their client and they are not able to do it properly, and they will, drive it sideways. So don't get too personal. That's the gist of it. Right. So here's the rundown. Weekly Tipsy. 5 things not to do on LinkedIn. Number 1, spamming strangers, especially on messages. Number 2, expecting instant gratification. You need to build a relationship with people. Number 3, trolling, which is kind of like spamming as well, but just don't comment and sell stuff on people's threads. Number 4, hard selling. Look broader when you're sharing and posting content. Look at industry level and not brand level. And number 5, getting too personal. Don't rant. Don't get too caught up with your personal opinion. So that's all for this week's Weekly Tipsy. Tipsy VP podcast is part of Social Media Weekly and is available on Anchor FM, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. Our full videos are available on YouTube, and we post bits and clips on Instagram and Facebook. This is Tipsy VP episode 7th February 2019. I'm Sean. Bye!